Hey, I'm jumping on a contest today.
Is for contest.
For Steve over at A is for Alice, B is for Bob, ... Carry on with the rest of the alphabet.
A, B, C, D.
He's having a contest because he bought this box set of Miles Davis and John Coltrane, which is probably pretty expensive, I would imagine. But he bought it, and now he's having buyer's remorse.
I think I want my money back.
Steve, you probably should buy one CD. If you're dipping your toe into a genre, don't buy a goddamn 20-disc box set.
I got the most expensive tree they had!
That would be my word to the wise, but who am I to say? At any rate, the title of the contest is Does Jazz Suck? And yeah, if you don't like jazz, your answer is going to be yes.
Jazz sucks.
And if you do like jazz, your answer is going to be no. I don't know what I'm going to add to the conversation, to be quite honest with you.
Jazz sucks.
I'm on the fence about jazz. I do own a number of jazz albums. Do I understand jazz? No.
Music like jazz, it's music based on fear.
Yeah.
The fear, what are they so scared of?
I do enjoy some of it. The less pretentious, the less busy kind of a jazz, I guess. I'm not really into a lot of like that modern jazz, the kind of jazz that you have to be a scientist, you have to be intellectually superior in order to understand. And that's the thing about jazz, is any jazz fan will tell you, if you don't like jazz, it's not jazz's fault. It's your fault because you're too stupid to understand jazz.
You stupid fucking cunt.
Yeah, I do like, and jazz is, honestly, jazz is music I kind of play in the background. I don't sit with a jazz album and immerse myself in the music.
Jazz sucks.
Honestly, I started listening to jazz when I was a wedding DJ, and I wanted something to play at dinner time that was not going to be Kenny G or Michael Bolton or some other smooth jazz bullshit. I wanted more organic kind of a jazz.
Jazz is mistakes. You're playing a song, but you do
Wrong.
it wrong.
You're playing it wrong.
You're playing it wrong,
Yeah.
then it's like everyone
And
goes,
it's like, oh, great,
jazz,
oh,
of course.
art form, you
Yeah,
played it
art
wrong.
form, yeah.
So I would start playing like Miles Davis, Thelonious Monk, stuff like the old classic jazz.
Jazz sucks.
From like the 40s, 50s, and 60s. That was kind of during the big band revival where you had like the Squirrel Nut Zippers and all these other, like, I think it was Brian Setzer put out that big band album. So there was this like big band revival that was happening kind of back in the mid to late 90s. And so people were starting to get into like that earlier Miles Davis jazz.
You did a lot of bad things.
Like what?
Well, you said you were pimping for a while.
Is that
Beat the
bad?
habit.
Is that bad?
And people were discovering some of the classic artists like Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, Dave Brubeck, all those kind of classic jazz artists. So my opinion on jazz is,
Jazz sucks.
Everybody has this album in your collection. Even if you don't like jazz, like check your collection right now. You may not think you have this album. I guarantee you have this album in your collection. And you're going to be shocked if you file your albums alphabetically, if you go through the D's, or if you're Steve, if you go through the M's, you're going to find this goddamn Miles Davis album in your collection. It just is. It's like the starter pack, along with Fleetwood Mac Rumors. This is like the Fleetwood Mac Rumors or the Pet Sounds of the jazz world. Everybody owns this freaking album, and for good reason, because this is probably one of the more accessible Miles Davis albums, probably his most popular, and yeah, the one that I if I'm being honest, I probably enjoy the most. This is like the dark side of the moon, I guess, in terms of probably people who really like Miles Davis are like, that's crazy. I wouldn't even put Kind of Blue in my top 10. Bleh. But you're a pretentious asshole. Anyway, I do like this album a lot. And another album that I own that I'm not so crazy about, but I bought it because everybody talks this album up. How great, what a masterpiece this album is. I can tell you, I do not understand it at all.
I should probably tell you something now, just to get it out of the way. I hate jazz.
I feel like they all went into a studio. Nobody told each other what they were playing in advance. John Coltrane whipped out his saxophone and just started blowing. There's just like cacophony of noise for about however long this album is. Like it's probably about, let's say, 35 or 40 minutes long. Maybe I'm being a little generous there. But it is just a wall of him blowing the saxophone. I can't discern a melody at all.
What do you mean you hate jazz?
It's like he just went in there and totally started like masturbating with the saxophone. And I don't mean that in a sexual way, but you know what I mean. It's just like the most self-indulgent half hour, 35 minutes of music you will ever listen to. I really want to get into this album. I do, but I just can't take it. Like after a while, it starts giving me a headache.
One thing I hear a lot is people say, Bruce, what's this with you and jazz? What's the beef with you and jazz music? I say, well, I really hate jazz. They say, what do you hate about poor old jazz? I say, the sound. The sound that jazz instruments make when they're being manipulated by jazz players for the delight of jazz respondents. I think of it as musical barf.
If there were some discernible melody or something I could follow, yeah, I'd get into this album a lot more. And it extends to the artwork. Like, ooh, here's the front cover. Ooh, look at the back cover. Front cover, but they don't even have the imagination to put something different on the back of this record. But I know that's superficial, and it's not about, we're not talking about artwork here. We're talking about the music itself. But yeah, I own a number of other John Coltrane albums that don't sound like this.
I hate jazz music. It hasn't killed my family and everything, but you know what has killed? My soul.
But this one, for whatever reason, and people say like this is his masterpiece. I do not understand it. And they're saying, well, it's full of so much emotion. He's squeezing so much emotion and passion out of his saxophone. I honestly think largely jazz musicians get together. They do not confer ahead of time. This is what we're going to play. Like you take a standard rock song, okay? You've got verse, chorus, verse, maybe a bridge thrown in there, but there's definitely a structure. With jazz, it's like we'll start now and however we end up, we have no idea. And what we play in between, it's entirely random. We're all going to play different shit. And whether or not it all sounds great or not, if there's dissonance and you don't like it, that's your fault because you're not smart enough to appreciate it. I guess that's the biggest thing that bugs me about jazz is if you don't get into it, if it's not a music that you appreciate, everyone looks at you like, well, there's something wrong with you.
Jazz is an accident.
Waiting to happen.
Yes. Waiting to have happened because it's over.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I do own jazz, and I do like quite a bit of jazz, but then there's the jazz that kind of annoys me.
Jazz sucks.
It's like, it's like looking at an impressionistic painting, listening to this album. Like, I don't really get it. I suppose there's an appeal to it. I guess I can see why some people might like it. I do not understand it. It's not necessarily for me. But here I own it. I'm not giving it away. At some point, maybe I'll have this epiphany and I'll really come to appreciate it. But, I've been trying for 20, 25 years now, and it just hasn't happened. So there. So Steve, I don't know if that's the answer that you're looking for.
No.
But that's all I got on that subject.
Is that bad?